Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jonathan, and welcome back to Money Talks, where we want to offer you financial information and meet you where you are financially so that you're able to stick to your budget, manage to pay off your debt, and begin to save on your path to building wealth. Today, guys, I just want to help you start to really formulate how you can evaluate whether or not you should refinance your home right now. If this is your first time joining me here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So in this incredible market right now, even though it's tumultuous for some, it could be a great time for you to actually refinance your home. But typically, where do you start with the idea of refinancing? What things should you be considering in that? So I want to talk through some of those things. As you know, I now have my NMLS license, state license for that matter. And going through this process with people every day is really helping them to understand, should they refinance? What's the best opportunity for them? And based off their goals, what should they actually refinance to? So first, in all this aspect, you do have to do some math. Now, the good thing about it is when you speak to the bank or when you speak to your mortgage loan officer, they should be able to help you a little bit with the math so that you can understand what is the actual value that you're getting. So a big piece of that is, number one, why are you refinancing? Do you want a lower payment? Is it that you're looking at, I can get a lower interest rate, which is true, you could. But then also, how long do you expect to be in the home? So if you know you're probably going to be out the home in about 1 to 2 years, it may not make sense financially for you to go ahead and spend the money for the refinance. Why? Because there are costs involved with the refinance. So you have to pay for the actual application process. You have to pay the people, the bank, whoever is doing the refinance for you. That's usually origination charge. Next, you have closing costs. So you have to take title. You have to take, if there's an appraisal, other fees that particular lender may charge you to do the actual loan. The other thing is setting up an escrow account, taxes and insurance. These things all play a factor in whether or not you should actually refinance. And the fact is, because those costs can be from $1,500 all the way up to $3,500, even $5,000, depending on what lender you're going with, that right there in itself can make you pause to understand, should I actually refinance? The second piece I want you to look at is, after you figured out, okay, I know I'm going to be in the home for a while, what benefit am I getting from refinancing? And again, are you refinancing to get the lower payment? Are you potentially paying PMI that you're trying to get rid of? That's another big piece. Or are you trying to speed up your timeline for paying off the home? Those are three crucial pieces of why you would refinance. If you're trying to refinance for a lower payment, just understand that if you're in a 30-year now and you go back to another 30-year, well, you kind of are repaying all that money that you just paid off. So the only way that particular math may actually work for you is if you're not planning to be in the home for much longer, meaning 4, maybe 5 years, and then you're leaving. In which case, what I've seen people do is I've seen them take cash out their home. Maybe take some more cash, put themselves in a better financial position. And then when they sell the home in 5 years, well, they've already gotten themselves somewhat ahead. Then your refinance more factors in not just you lowering the payment, but hey, did I take 50 grand? Did I take 60 grand? Well, if I'm paying the same payment, but I have another $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in my account, that's a different piece of what people mostly call leverage during this time. And it can get sticky, but again, if you have a good mortgage consultant, they can help you walk through the decision making, because it's all the way you're making this decision should be based off your goals, not what that person is trying to do. Ultimately, that person, mortgage loan officer, that they're going to get paid whether you do when you do the loan. So how much loan and all that type of stuff really isn't going to matter. The next thing I want you to look at is, should you pay points? Now, why would you pay points? Again, typically you're paying points to get a lower interest rate. But first math equation, and because this is simple interest on a mortgage, that you want to look at is, if you're trying to get a 2.5 over a 3%, well, how much money, dollars, are you saving per year by going from a 3% to a 2.5? Sometimes those interest rates can be deceiving. And it's very important that you really understand what's the real dollar value when you're doing this switch. The reason for it is, again, just like in a car, when you get to lower number interest rates, 2, 3, 4, that really is a lower cost overall. And so when you look at what's the interest, total amount of interest you're paying in a year for a 3%, and then what's the total amount of interest you're paying for a 2.5 or a 2%, is that really worth the points that you're actually going to pay for that? Now, the math on points say, hey, if you're at a point, if you look at a rate with no points, and then you look at the payment with the points should pay off in X amount of months based off how much you're saving in that payment. But the evaluation should actually consider, what should I do these points based off how much interest I'm going to actually save by going from, in the example I'm using, 3% interest rate a year versus a 2.5. If that's a difference of $100 or so, that may not be worth the points. So really consider all these different factors before you actually go down this road. And it's really important for you to understand, is this a good time to refinance? Because what are you actually saving? The whole point of the refinance is to improve your monthly cash flow, give you more margin, give you more wiggle room. So if you're not doing that, then is it really worth the refinance? If you're not going to be in the home much longer, sure, you can get a lower rate, but is that really worth your time? And the whole point of this video is to make sure that in your largest asset, you limit the mistakes that you make with it. Because a financial mistake on a home is usually a multi-$1,000 mistake, not just a few $100 mistake. You know, guys, I want you to be financially successful, and I really want you to understand the thought process and how you need to evaluate decisions. I understand what you're looking at value, but math truly doesn't lie. And if you know the lens by which you should be evaluating the financial decision, that helps you make a better decision for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.